Hey, and welcome back to another Animal Crossing video. Today I wanted to talk about some things that I would really like to see added for this update that's coming out tomorrow. So tomorrow is the announcement of Brewster as well as potentially other stuff. It's a whole 20 minutes, which really is a lot of time for one designated game. So these are things that I would like to see besides NPCs and, some of the far-reaching stuff and a little more specific and very catered to customization. So let's get started. So the first one that I think a lot of people would like to see is fencing. Not just customization of fences where you can customize the current ones to be different colors, but also just more fencing in general. If we look at Pocket Camp, not only do they have items full of fences, but they also have custom fences for the campsite. And so I'm going to be pulling a few of the ones from there that I think would be really valuable to have within New Horizons. So some fences that could potentially match really well. We have the bamboo fence with the bamboo set. We already have a mermaid fence that goes with the mermaid set, but there's a couple in Pocket Camp that match some of the items that we actually already have. So for example, there's a Sakura Garden rock fence, and that could be a really nice addition next year to the Sakura fence. It's basically a bunch of rocks and they just look really nice with the little Sakura petals on them, and it just would be really cool to have. The second one that we can add in addition to some of the sets we already have is an enchanted starry fence. So this one is kind of Celeste focused. You could use star fragments to craft this fence. It would work really well and it would just look really nice with the Celeste fence and give a little bit of dynamic. I like that the stars float, and I feel like that would be kind of a cool effect for your fence to have as well as them glowing at night. The last one that I'm going to just mention just because is the Toy Day Lodge fence for the Toy Day furniture. So we have some Toy Day things, we have toys, we have, stockings, but adding a fence for it would be really cute, especially with the wreath. You could have the wreath kind of match the wreath that you have on your doorways, and if we do get to customize the fences, you could customize your fence wreath on this to match all of the ones we already have. Some that I think we should bring back, just a couple of examples for these fences, is the fence of cards. So this one is really interesting because there used to be a card set that you could purchase that was all furniture, and it was all like poker and card game focused, which was really cool, and it kind of was neat if you wanted to make a casino in your game or like have a casino room. But if they brought back that furniture set as well as adding this fence to it, that would be really cool. The seaside fence, this is a very selfish one because I am huge into nautical things, but there was a couple of pieces of furniture that worked really well with this. So there was like this little table with an umbrella and it had like a drink on it. More nautical based furniture, like the striped furniture, it would just work really well with that. And I would love to see this as like a new addition to something they're bringing back, but it matches with new fences we could put down. And new fences with new sets entirely. So these are fences that I have found and I think they could work really well with a brand new set that they could bring in that we would love to see. Well, especially me. So the first one is the Fairy Forest fence, which is basically a giant log, but it's kind of cool because it has like overgrown mossy look to it. And if you could just like place down a log and have the log extend as it got bigger versus little pieces of log, kind of how the fences already do, I just think it would be really, really beautiful. And if they could bring a new furniture set that was very fairy focused or like foresty focused, I think it would work really well, like little leaf shaped chairs or, a table that's kind of like overgrown looking. I don't know. You could do so much with it, and I think it would look really, really nice. There's one fence called the Plush Pastel. I think it's called the Plush Pastel. That would be really nice to have with a pastel set. It would actually go really well with the Chai set, actually, and a lot of the Sanrio stuff. But having a brand new set just for pastel stuff would be really, really nice. And having a pastel fence with it, super cute. So the next thing I want to talk about is customizing clothing. We already have customization for clothing, and I think just adding more clothes to the repertoire is fine. They have already added fans, cutout standees, so I don't see these being too much of a stretch for them to add for the update. So the first one being shoes. If you could customize your own shoes, I think that would be really cool. There's a lot of people who love shoes. I have a fiance who has an entire shoe closet. I think having customized shoes would be really, really cool. And you could kind of have default shoes to choose from, kind of like we have different shirt sizes. We have long sleeve shirts, we have the tank tops, dresses, etc. You could have that with shoes as well. So you can have high tops as an option, or flats as an option, or heels and sneakers. You know, any kind of shoe variant there. Even just those four would be plenty for people to get excited about to start customizing for their shoes. The other thing that they should add is bottoms, so you can customize pants or shorts. Customizing leggings would be huge because leggings are notorious for having like these wild and crazy patterns. You could customize a shorter skirt versus a long maxi skirt, and that would just add a lot of variation and a lot of fun to the fashion of Animal Crossing. The next one we could do is backpacks. So you could have like different types of things you put on your character, kind of accessories, I guess is a better word for it. But if you had a backpack that you could design yourself, or a purse that your character could carry around that you decorated to fit whatever your outfit was. Another weird one is kind of like wings. If you had like default kind of generic wings, I feel like that would be something really fun that people would like to color, like having colorful wings that your character just wears around. And maybe even, you know, some hair accessories, so different bows or flowers that you can kind of color in. I don't know, there's so many options and so many things that could really be a really great potential. Just adding more accessories and like cute things like that would be nice. So this next one is something that I have been thinking about since the beginning of Animal Crossing New Horizons. Changing the customization for your pathing. As of right now, it's easy to say, oh, well, we have custom paths that we can put down, but you're missing all of the sounds that you get when you walk on them. And to me, that's like one of the most important parts of pathing your town, is being able to enjoy the sounds, the different sounds of them being walked on, but also like you miss them from the map. Whenever you have custom paths, they don't show up on the map, so it's really hard to find anything when you visit new islands on how to get back if you don't have that pathing. So I think by just adding new customizations to the pathing we already have in place, I think that's a really great way to help us out a little bit. So as an example, Terracotta has this beautiful gray version in the museum. Every time I go into the bug section of the museum, I think about, man, I really, really would love to have this specific color of terracotta. And so I think the way we could probably fix that is when you go into the menu, kind of like when you're adding your custom paths and you hit A just to open up a menu, you should be able to hit A on those specific ones and select a different color. Maybe there's the gray one that's in the museum, or, you know, a little bit more of a yellowish tone rather than the pinkish tone, or a bluish tone. Just kind of different colors of terracotta that you could use in your island, keeping the same style, the same sounds, the same shape, just changing the color itself. So obviously these can all apply to the things we already have, whether it's the wood, just having different wood tones to match kind of the wood furniture we already have, or just new stone options having a darker variation, or the sand having a lighter or a starry variation. However, there is one thing that doesn't particularly make sense, and that's that there's two different types of dirt separated. If the dirts got combined, that means there's an open spot. And what I think that would go really well in here is to replace it with a tile option. So obviously the tiles would have different, you know, color variations, and they would be kind of the marble and the granite and the dark stone that the fountains all have. And you could use the sound that's already in the game from the museum to be the sound print for that specific pathway. So I think if they combine the dirt to add, you know, variations and then had a tile version, that would work really well for people who want something a little bit more elegant on their islands. And that's it. That's the three, really the main things that I think adding customization to in Animal Crossing would make a huge difference in this next update. I really hope that they kind of add one of these things, if not something similar to it, when they announce everything tomorrow, or maybe even potentially in the future. Some of them are a bit of a stretch and obviously just a huge wish list on my part, but I think it would be really well received by the Animal Crossing community. Let me know what you guys think and what you would add to customization if that was something that you've been thinking about. I want to hear all about it. If you like this video, please consider giving the like button a boop for me. I would super appreciate that as well. I do want to give a quick thank you to all of my patrons and my members. You guys are super supportive and I really appreciate all you do for me. And I hope everybody has an amazing rest of your day, and I will see you on the next video. Bye!